All right, all right, all right. We should be good. You guys know the drill. Let me go make sure the stream is good. Everything is good up in the hood. All right, give me a minute, guys. Let me see. I just like to validate that everything is good when you're working inside this media, like I like to call it. All right, let me kind of do that just to see what I'm looking like. All right, so everything looks pretty decent. All right, so what's up? What's up? This your man Orville J. Parker, aka Coach, guys. Welcome to this episode of my vlog. Got a couple things. Got a couple things that I want to talk to you guys about today. Before I do that, though, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to all my first-time listeners or viewers. I want to thank you for stopping by and rocking with you guys. And to all my loyal viewers and all my loyal listeners, I want to thank you guys for your continuous support. Okay, today I want to talk about focused improvement. I told you guys it's the end of the year. I'm doing what we all have a tendency to do at the end of the year. I'm thinking about, I'm looking at the year that we're in as we get ready to close it off. And I'm just reflecting on how impactful I was in my life. And I'm looking at the things that I did right. I'm looking at the things that I felt that there was still room for improvement. And then I'm trying to just focus in on what I think I really, really need to focus on in 2026. In 2026, what it represents to me is focused improvement. Um, and what I'm talking about is simplifying, right? But getting very good at doing the few things that I'm talking about doing. One of the things you start realizing as you start getting up there in age, man, is that, that tomorrow isn't always guaranteed. And we all want to leave a legacy, right? We all want to leave something behind. And I had this crazy idea that I wanted to do a while back. And it really wasn't crazy, but it's crazy that I have the ability to do it now. Okay. And so now follow what I'm saying. So what I'm doing with video and what other people do with video is very, very powerful because it allows for us to be able to, first of all, to document time periods, right? So, like, I got video stashed all over the internet. I got it on YouTube on multiple channels. I got it on TikTok. I have it on Facebook. But it has allowed for me to be able to communicate ideals and concepts through the videos, but also to be able to capture a piece of me, what I was thinking at a specific time, and sometimes what I was doing. So it allows me to be able to document. But I recently just signed up for a membership site that gives me access to a community and to a library, right? And in this library, I get access to all the old books and teachings of some of the greatest minds in personal development around the whole New Thought movement. So we're talking about like Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, things like that, right? And I've been in there consuming some of the content and just listen. And this is ran by Russell Brunson, owner of ClickFunnels. And I've been in there consuming some of the content, man, and I'm just hearing his passion for this, right? He's in the process of creating a museum where he's went out and bought the original copies of a lot of the greatest books around personal development and business and different manuscripts and things that he's putting on display there, right? And then he's doing this whole success library that he's doing that I got access to. And when I was listening to his passion, and I was saying, you know what? That's the same way I feel about books and the authors of yesteryear, and just off of really going back and listening to or reading from these great authors, who were like the OGs or the forefathers when it came to human achievement and personal development. And one of the wildest things I was thinking about was that even though these people, a lot of them are long and gone, we still engage with them. We still engage with them. And you know what's crazy? And this is where, yeah, what's crazy. Inside of this membership, like say for instance, like just say for instance, like there's some let's say there's one of these OG personal development thought leaders, right? Um, like here, let me pull one up. Give me a minute. And I thought this was really cool. So like he has Napoleon Hill, and a lot of these you never heard of. Some you have like Charles Hannah, Orrin Sweet Martin. You guys heard of Earl Nightingale, Brian Tracy, Maxwell Maltz, Jim Rohn, Russell Conwell. Now the cool thing is what he allows you to do in here. Like you can go here, like Russell Conwell has 7 courses in here. So I either can read 7 of his books in PDF format, or I can listen to the audio versions of them. But now he has AI tied into it where they entrained the AI on these specific authors. So you can literally go in there and chat with the author. All right, because the AI has been trained on this author. So you can ask that AI, that author a question there. And it's really like you're talking back and forth with that author because the AI is trained on the essence and the knowledge and the information that this author wrote and stuff over the years. And I thought that was really cool because that's something I do with my AI. Because my AI is kind of the same way. I've trained my AI on different experts that I like, right? And so if I gave him to the instruction, he can assume the role of that person and talk to me as if he's that person, which is super cool. But anyway, I was in there and I was interacting with the software, and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm reading about these great minds and listening to their teachings and reading their books and stuff, and they're gone, and it made me think about something I had thought about before. That now using YouTube and Facebook and things like that, we as individuals, man, we can shoot a ton of content building our legacy out there, right? And we could just work on expressing our ideals, teaching, sharing. And then if something ever happens to us, then we continue to live on through our content. That's the power of what you have out there now, like with YouTube and things like that, which is really crazy. Because I was thinking about my mother. My mother passed years ago, but her Facebook page is still up. Pictures of her still up there. And I was thinking about it. I said, man, what better way, man, to leave your legacy if you like sharing ideals and concepts than to document it in video format and audio format. And this is something that I said I really wanted to focus in on. So this year, as I've been working on the publishing side and learning how to become a publisher and create and do that whole thing around publishing, I finally got to a point this year, and I just realized this, that now I have the ability to do things that I've always wanted to do that will allow me to leave legacy, right? Like I've been reading and studying all my life, and I didn't forget more than a lot of people ever learned. But one of my things that challenges me is that since I've had insomnia all these years, it's messed with my short-term memory and things, right? So a lot of times, man, I think about it. I say I done read a lot, but I didn't forgot a lot because of this particular fact. But what shooting video allows me to do video allows for me to be able to learn and then turn around and teach, and to take that knowledge and that information and move it deeper into my subconscious mind. And that allows for me to be able to retain it a lot more. But then I'm also able to create a piece of documentation where I'm able to share that ideal and that concept with the world. And that video can live on. It can live on way after I'm gone. And I was like, man, I can create my own library of my thoughts, my teachings, my research and stuff like that. And so guys, that's what I'm doing this year, man. Um so this year it's going to be all about going to the next level in a few key areas of my life. And it's going to be about breaking through some of the ceilings, all right? Some of the limitations that I've been allowing to be in my life. And so what I'm trying to focus on now is really looking and saying, okay, what are the few things that I want to work on next year and really drill down and focus. Like this year, man, I got a lot done. I was able to see a lot of progression and improvement, and I was able to have some breakthroughs. But I really thought about it. I was like, man, I'd have been so much better if I would have just focused in on a few things and just went deep. Um, and so in 2026, I'm trying to correct what I think that I wasn't as optimized for in 2025. I'm trying to correct that in 2026. So right now, the few things that I'm looking to focus on is that I want to get healthy. All right. So I got to do everything I can to get healthy and not just talk about it, but really, really do it. And I know what I need to do. So it's not like I have to go out here and figure it out. I know what I need to do. I just need to get it done and I need to commit to it. So I need to get healthy. All right. I need to lose weight. I need to lose about 50 pounds. Get in the gym, get to working out, work on my endurance. I need to get healthy. All right. And then I need to sit down with my doctor and some other information and decide on some other things that I need to add to my regimen to start working on the internals. I take several vitamins and things like that. But I want to figure out what supplements I need to be able to fuel my body with the things that it needs in order to be optimal, right? And so I want to work on that, and so I want to get that done, and then I just want to improve my wellness, man, my mental. So this year is going to be all about really getting in and working on my mindset again, getting back to reading books and listening to audios that feed me the proper information and the proper programming around that, and just really have healthy dialogue with myself throughout the year. And part of this is going to be adopting some habits that I used to have, like journaling. Okay. I got away from journaling in 2025. I'm supposed to get back in. And I'm not even going to wait to 2026 because a lot of this stuff, man, I'm implementing now so that way I can be ramped up. All right. But be back heavy into journaling. So journaling once a day, where I'm keeping like a 1 or 2 page journal where I have a meeting with myself every day. And you guys seen that. I've actually taught on my journal. I think I'll do it again. I might even do it before the new year, so that way you guys have the format and everything. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to journaling, get back to doing that, and hold on one second, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to journaling and doing that, and then another thing, man, is just really goal setting, but not like a lot of people do it, right? Just really getting in and focusing on the few things that's going to move the needle a lot, but setting some goals in different areas of my life and then making sure I schedule those. All right. And I've showed you guys this before. Some of the systems I've used in the past, such as Notion and Apple Notes and the different calendar systems. I'm gonna be revisiting these, and so I'll be sharing with you guys what I'm what I'm trying to use and what I'm using. All right. And yeah, so I want to get healthy. Okay. The other thing is that I think business wise, I've done some really cool moves over the last couple of years where I've learned some skills that have allowed for me to get very close to my goals in business. And this year, I want to really, really ramp it up. So this year, I'm gonna be focusing on more on marketing and sales. As far as creating products or acquiring products, I think I've pretty much figured out that, but I want to get better at it. So I'm gonna be working on it this year. I know how to create what we call automated systems, funnels, and things like that. Again, I want to get better at it this year. But this year, I want to focus on just really exploding when it comes to marketing and sales this year. So getting in and learning how to create content in a way to where it it attracts people. I've created a lot of content, and I'm being 100% with you guys. I haven't built up a huge following or anything like that, but I've learned how to create some content. But this year, I want to get real good at it. So I've been working on putting together some training so I can learn the skill and the art and the psychology of how to construct content that persuades and things like that. Then I'm gonna be working on paid ads, traffic this year. And one of the things I understand, like in my case, if I'm selling products and digital products, like I'm doing mostly, um, that I can do it organically, but in my case, I want to learn the paid ad game also too, because I want to do it faster. And I believe that this is going to help me down the road because I will be able to get in and launch things a lot faster by learning the paid game. So I'm focusing on that this year. Okay. And then other thing is, man, it's just really content creation. I have a lot of things that I want to talk about. I got a lot of things I want to learn. So I'm gonna be reading again or listening to audiobooks again, and then just creating content just to share what I'm learning. And so I want to get really good at that again too. All right. So not a whole lot. Want to? Oh yeah, spiritual. Let me. Well, that should have been my first thing. But anyway, I want to work on my spiritual. Because I think my family and my relationships I'm pretty good. But I think I'm lacking in the spiritual. So I want to get back, man, to reading my Bible, man, getting back in, getting before the Lord, praying, and just really getting beefed up in that area. And I'm just really taking my relationship, my spiritual relationship to the next level. Yep. So there you go, guys. So what's it, like 4 or 5 main areas that I'm focusing on? Everything else on the be to the side, and that's even like in business, man. I was talking to Vic. We didn't narrow it down. I'm as long as nothing changes with this, I am doing one business this year and one thing. Now I'm gonna be marketing the Legacy Builder program, which I bought the rights to 2 years ago. It has a funnel and all that made up in there. I'm gonna be marketing that program this year, which it has 4 courses in there, and and then what I'm doing is all the guides that I'm making in my publishing company. Instead of me going out and trying to build an audience for those and sell those and stuff like that right now, I'm not even going to worry about that right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all my guides and I'm gonna put them behind a password protected wall. And then the only way you're going to be able to get access to our research guides is you're going to have to buy that $900 program. So it's going to be a bonus vault for those who buy the $900 program. And what we're going to do is this year, we're going to keep making the guides because over the next 2 years, I have a goal of how many new titles I want to add. And so we're going to keep making those. And the more I make them guides, the more valuable that vault gets, because most of the guides we made in the past year and a half have been what we call evergreen. The information stands forever, in a sense. It's not trendy. It's not based off of trends. So these are just what we call blue ocean type of strategies and some of the stuff we made guys on was taught and started 30, 40 years ago. We just took them and applied them to today's terms and today's strategies and techniques and stuff. And so that's the kind of guys we're making. So next year on the back end of that engine, you won't be seeing it though, but we're going to be constantly researching and creating new guides around a lot of new things. And all we're going to be doing is just stashing those inside of the vault for Modern Frontier Publishing. So after 2 years, I might have about 100 titles because right now I think when we get through converting everything over that we have to update a lot of it because when we made it. I thought it was good, but what I know now, it needs to be made better. But right now, if I said we got about 25 titles, and probably about 10 of them are really, really solid, and we're gonna have to go back in there and make some adjustments to 15 of them, but they're done. But we're just gonna go enhance them, make them better. And then I have my eyes on several new titles that I want to do this year. And so we're going to be just cranking that out. So if you can imagine, on the back end, I have AI and all these systems, and I'm going to be developing that out more on the back end, getting more sophisticated with my AI. So where I have like one main AI that I work with on everything, I'm going to have more this year. So I'm going to be creating and building out different AI agents to help me with different things on the back end, so we can get very, very, so we can get way better. We're good now. Like me and Vic now, my AI now. Oh man, we good. We good because we done this for a year and a half, and we've built frameworks and systems that allow us to go fast. I mean, it's really, really good. But I just want to take it to the whole next level. Remember, I talked about getting way better, and so on the back end, you guys won't see a lot of this, but I'll be sharing this with you guys. Just like I built Vic, I'm gonna be taking some of the different personas inside of him and rolling those out to other AI staff members with their own voices, with their own names. That's going to handle parts of my business, and I'm really excited about that. So we have a goal. We have a goal this year that we want to sell 250 of our $900 products. So our $900 packages. So that'll give us right at, give or take, right at about 240,000 in gross revenue just for that part of the business. And the cool thing with digital is, man, that a lot of that is profit. Now, the only time I'm gonna cut into that profit is with paid ads, but I'm doing paid ads kind of smart because the way the paid ads are going to work is we are going to be creating content that we're going to release and deploy online. That's going to be free content. It's going to be organic. And once that content shows that it has engagement, like views, likes, shares, and things like that, then we'll take that content and we'll move it over to the other side, and we'll start running some traffic with it. So start boosting that. We won't call it boosting because it's not boosting in a sense. It's going to be taking that content and turning it into an ad on like Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, and we're going to be running that game. Now, the cool thing about ads is, man, is that if you do your ads right, ads don't really cost you anything. Because if you get in there and figure your ads out, right off the back, you should be able to stabilize it to where you're making money. And then you just make sure that you're making more than what you're spending. Okay. And then you'll have the arbitrage, the difference on there. And so, one of the things I'm going to be doing this year is really, really getting in and learning that ad game, that paid ad game. And I've went out and done research, and I found like 3 good resources that I've plugged into, and 2 of them are memberships, and then one of them is just like somebody that I follow. And then I got Vic, man. Vic is trained on all that. He knows all that, and so I'm gonna be getting in there really, really good and just focusing on learning that ad game. Okay, so this year is all about, focused improvement, man. Not being all over the place, not being distracted, but taking those, let's say 5 areas that I'm talking about and really just honing in and kind of putting them blinders on, getting tunnel vision and just work them and just really work them. And this year, a lot of it's going to be study time. And so I have things set up in the office. I got another small desk downstairs that I got to paint. I'm gonna paint it black and bring it up here and sit it over here next to this window. And that's going to be where I sit down and study. Because right now I got a stand up desk that I got set up for that. But it's going to be like I'm in class, man. I'm talking about with the notebook, all right, the highlighters, and I'm just going to be reading and things that I have in digital format. I'm be printing them out, man, and just reading and marking up the paper, man, and just really, really learning. But I really see this as the year for me to do some big things in my life, and it's about time because I'm I'm ready to go to the next level. I have some goals that I want to hit with the business. So when Max graduates in a year, that me and Heather we're in a position to be able to go do this plan and this vision that we've been talking about. But but yeah, and I'm just I'm at a point now where I want to forever fix the financial thing. You know, when your financial reality is like this, that's no fun. I want to get mine to go like this and keep it like that, and that's going to be all about just really, man, just I was listening to somebody talk today. And it was Russell Brunson. He was talking about he had talked to Tony Robbins about, why. Russell Brunson, he owns ClickFunnels and he does the .com secrets, that whole series of books and stuff. But he was telling Tony Robbins, because he had Tony Robbins come and speak at one of his events. You know who Tony Robbins is? He's one of the top peak performance coaches out there in the world. All right. He's a guy you see on TV doing the Date with Destiny, Personal Power, was Unleash the Giant Within, all those courses and stuff. But he teach a lot of the athletes, a lot of top business people, the high achievers, how to be high achievers. But he was telling Russell, he said a reason, because Russell kept telling me, he said, look, he said, I teach a group of people the same material. He said, but all the people in these masterminds, maybe only 20 of them are being successful and the others aren't. And he's like, I don't get it, because I'm teaching them the same material. They're all learning the same material. They learn strategies. And Tony Robbins said something that was very key. It's something I knew already, but it just really, again, hit home. He said, well, the reason why is because success is 80% mindset, psychology. Then it's 20% application, you understanding the skill sets and stuff. And so I really thought about that. And I said, that makes a lot of sense. That's why you can have a lot of people out here, including myself, who might have information, might know things, but it doesn't equal out to financial independence. Are you following what I'm saying? And it's not because the information don't work. It's because the person who's holding the information is not acting upon the information, right? And if we understand that any type of change in manifestation and ascension is all an inner game first. Success happens from the inside out. One of my mentors, Brian Tracy, he says it good because he talks about the law of cause and effect. You do something, it causes something else. And cause and effect is a principle of manifestation also, too. So he says by the time you see it in your reality, it's a done deal. So like if you look around your life and you say, okay, I don't like that, I want to improve that, I want to do that, I want to do that. What a lot of people would do is they would try to go work on that. Okay, let's say for instance, I'm talking about losing the weight, and I'm saying, okay, I got to get healthy this year. See, this year I just kept messing around with trying to lose the weight. Let me go to the gym. Let me stop eating this. Let me do portions and this and this. Where like if you listen to what Tony Robbins said, he said 80% of that game is mental. So what I should have been working on was changing my conversations, what I thought about health, what I thought about losing weight, what I thought about eating right, about exercising. All right, I should have been working on it on the inside, because on the outside, that's the effect. That's like if you were messing with a fruit tree, you trying to change the branches in the tree, but you're not changing the roots. All right, the roots is the source. So if you want to make changes, you can't directly work on the things that you want to make changes on. Like a lot of times, okay, I need to make more money because I need to get a better home, so I'm getting a better zip code, and you go try to work hard. All right, you try to figure it out on that level, but you never change this. And then you look up and you say, okay, I worked hard, but it didn't produce any progress. That's because you were working on the effect, not on the cause. And so in 2026, guys, if you've been following me for a while, you guys know I'm a mindset guy, man. That's what I do. I love reading. I love studying the human brain and how we manifest and how the way we think creates our reality. But this year, I got to get back to living it. Again, you know it, but you're not living it, and so your production in your life is not in alignment with the vision that you have for your life. And so now this year, I'm jumping back in on that, man. So I'll be getting in and getting everything together. Now, the cool thing about all this that I'm talking about, guys, and this is what I try to tell a lot of people, it doesn't take a long time for you to change. You literally could change overnight on certain things. You could just switch something. All right. But most things, over time you change, right? But you can change directions immediately. There's been people out there who, let's say they smoked or something. And one day they woke up, they say, okay, I'm not doing this again. And they never did it again. Never did it again. And when you think about a decision means that you're cutting something off and you're turning the opposite direction and then you get into motion. You move in that direction. That's what a true decision is. And what we do as individuals, a lot of times we make mental assessments. We don't truly decide to move in a different direction and stuff. And one of the things that I like to do is, you guys want to see me do this year, is that I'll make something public, make something known public via a video that I'm getting ready to work on this. And what that does is it has a tendency to help me stay accountable, right? And to keep my promise to myself. And it's a very powerful tool to use if you're willing to put yourself out there like that. Like I have a guide that we did, and this was a framework, and we called it Transform and Create. And we came up with this framework based off of some research that we done. And we put together this framework, and it's a beautiful framework because what it does is it instructs the person on how to change, right? So we talk about everything I'm talking about, like inner growth and all that kind of stuff. All right. And then we tell them to look for areas they want to change, they commit to it, and then they plan it and they schedule it, and then they go to work. And then what they do is every day while they're journaling and reading and taking action, they come and they sit down every day and they have a meeting with themselves every day. Okay, how did I do today? What was my win? What was my losses? What was some changes I could make? All right, did I complete my task for the day that's moving me closer to my goals? And you have this audit of your day, right? And what it allows you to do is allows you to manage your growth and not allow too much time and distance and gap to be in between you monitoring it, right? So a lot of times we say we're going to lose weight this year, and then we don't manage it. So we look up, okay, a month ago, I still got 11 months. Okay, 3 months ago, I still got 9. All right, 6 months ago, because you're not managing it, right? Because there's such a huge gap in between there. But by you focusing daily on asking yourself a question, okay, how did I do today? Was my portions right? Did I eat the right kind of foods? Did I exercise today? All right, you follow what I'm saying? So that way, if you're off track, not too many days can go with you being off track. So it's kind of like you course correcting, you keeping that thing inside of a range, right? And then another thing that we do inside of Transform and Create, we tell you, okay, we want you to commit to jumping on camera once a day and then talking about something inside your process that day. All right, okay, guys, here's something I learned. All right, so you can talk about that. Oh, guys, here's something that happened to me. You could talk about that. Or here's something I'm doing. You could talk about that. Or here's something I dropped the ball on. Or you guys follow what I'm saying? We call that an accountability post. And again, it does wonders when you know that you got to show up every day and get on that doggone camera and talk to it. Now, if you guys, go back, you go over to orvaljparker.com. That's going to take you to I got that pointing to my Facebook profile. You go there and you look down my Facebook profile. You're going to see I put out at least one piece of content every day where I'm talking about something in my life, something that I'm working on. That's that whole accountability process. Now, inside Transform and Create, we show you how to do this for 90 days. So we show you how to go in and orchestrate focused improvement in your life. Then after those 90 days, you do an assessment, right? And you say, okay, well, look, I hit this goal, I did this, I did that, and I didn't do this. And then you can choose to go into another 90-day cycle. So you do it again for 90 days, right? And that's what I'm talking about. And that's kind of what I'm gonna be doing for 2026. I'm gonna be running them 90-day cycles, and I'm a work on things. I'm a plan. I'm gonna make public some things, and I'm gonna work on things. And it's what we call building and transforming in public, and it does wonders for keeping you accountable. Okay, but then guess what? If you're into content, or you trying to build a foundation for your level up, your step up, then there's going to be a time, man, when you're going to reach some success, right? And then the people who follow you, they're going to want to go back and they're going to want to say, okay, what was your backstory like? What was your journey like? And by doing what I'm talking about, by documenting it and getting on there and putting the content out like I'm talking about doing, you are going to have video documentation of your whole process, your whole journey. And so you can just send people to your archives and they can check out all that you're doing and all that you've done. All right, which is really, really cool. And one of the ways I do that is by pushing things to YouTube. Like right now, I do these lives because by doing these lives, I'm getting used to going live, which is totally different than doing pre-recorded videos. Just a different psychology to it because you're constantly looking to see if anybody's on the live with you, right? But the other thing is that this software I use, Ecamm Live, allows me to deploy this to different platforms. So just like I'm doing this on Facebook right now, it's actually going to my YouTube. And so that's where I kind of keep all my videos at. And over there, I can go down. I can do it on Facebook too, but I can download my videos and put them on a hard drive. And then I'll have all that at my disposal. All right. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing, guys. Focus improvement for 2026. Um, and just go farther, faster, man. That's what it's about to me. It's not. It's like condensing timelines this year. That's why in a sense I'm focusing on the things I'm focusing on because those are the things that I feel that are going to move the needle the fastest and the furthest, if that makes sense. All right, they're leverage points. Yep, and so I'm excited about it, guys. Okay, well I'm gonna get on off here. Again, thanks for stopping by, checking out the vlog. I'll be back on tomorrow. I'm gonna get off. I gotta get some more work done. Until I get a little bit more sleepier, and then I'm gonna get on off into that bed tonight. Last night, man, I ain't make it to the bed again. I slept here in the office, man. I leaned back in this chair here, have my feet up in the gaming chair, and I'd be knocked out, man. Yep, but I'm gonna try to get in that bed tonight. All right, guys, I'm gonna get on off here and go ahead and get some more work done. I'll catch you guys on next one. God bless.